Hey, it's Mark and Paulette, two travelers in Mexico. We are back in Morelia, and we are here to describe our experience crossing through the Laredo border crossing, taking bridge number 2.
First time.
First time for that particular crossing now.
And I always get nervous. I was nervous the first time. I just get nervous because we don't speak the language, and
We don't speak the language well.
with the capital W for well. So I always get nervous about what I'm going to run into, what they're going to say, and how fast they talk, and if you're going to get pulled over to have your car searched. Not that I have anything, but it's just a hassle. Go ahead.
So we arrived at the border crossing. We took bridge number 2. We arrived at the border crossing at about 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday. A couple of the lanes were coned off, and so we pulled into...
And there wasn't any traffic at all.
Right.
We just went right through.
So we pulled into one of the lanes that kind of, made us turn into the part that said that we had stuff to declare, which we didn't really, but...
The two that were not to declare were, like you said, coned off. There was nothing we could do but go through the third one. There was like a 3rd, 4th, 5th or something like that, 6th.
Yeah.
So we went to the next one after the cones.
Right. So we pull in there, they go through all of our stuff, and our car was completely packed full of stuff. We pulled out a bunch of totes that we had and stuff that was sandwiched in between the totes and in the trunk and stuff, and we spent a while going through all of that. They made us open up all of our totes, and they just kind of looked in, checked a few things.
Yeah.
They didn't really question anything.
No, but he did make us go through. He went through the top tote,
Yeah.
and had to take that one out, went through the second tote, and take that one out, went on the other side, got that tote. I mean, it was just a hassle to try to put these back in with some wine bottles, some ceramic mugs that we bought, and just other stuff. It was crammed in there.
Right.
And then, now you have to go back and
Put it
re-cram
all
everything,
back in.
so all that's going to fit.
Right, and she had to put in there like a jigsaw puzzle. Each part had it, each thing had its own specific place.
Not really.
So we got out of there. You have to make a left-hand turn because the Banjercito wall is right next to the building. You can't drive right to it. You have to make a left-hand turn. You have to go down to the second light and then make another left-hand turn to cross the oncoming traffic, and then make a left onto a frontage road that takes you back under the bridge, and then you get to the I&M and Banjercito, which is on the left-hand side. However, we did make a mistake, and we turned at the first light, which put us back on the road to take us back over the bridge into the U.S. Thankfully, about halfway through the bridge, there was an officer there that spoke English, and he let us make a U-turn there and cross over because there was an opening in the bridge, and then go back through Mexican customs.
Right.
And this time,
Yeah.
we were able to take the lane with nothing to declare, and we went right on through.
Yeah.
Went down, made the left-hand turn, went down to the second light, and then made that turn to cross the oncoming traffic, and then come back down that frontage road.
Okay, but tell them about what happened when we were at that second light area. Remember, Google Maps is telling you to turn there, but it didn't look like you could turn there.
Yeah.
Right? And then who was in the street?
Oh, just people begging, some street vendors, stuff like that.
No, they weren't street vendors.
We gave them some pesos, and
They were just locals. I don't know why you said street vendors. And yeah, they were just locals that had their can out looking for a handout. And I gave them each like 20 pesos. That's all I had was like 3 or 4 of the 20 pesos. And I said, I have no more. And then some lady points in my car where I had some rolled money for like when we crossed the toll plazas. And she like points like, you have more? And I'm like, seriously? But the one guy was really nice, and he helped us.
Right, he went out into the road and kind of like stopped the oncoming traffic and gave us a chance to get across.
Yeah, we asked him where it was.
Do
you know where the INM office is?
Right.
And so he helped us. He stopped the traffic. He got us across. So, was it worth $4? Yeah, it was.
We arrived at the Banjercito, and the same building as Banjercito is in is also.
Tell me what Banjercito is.
Yeah, Miss Banjercito is where you register your vehicle to get your tip to make your car legal to drive.
The temporary import permit.
In Mexico, yeah. So that was a pretty easy process. Since we're already temporary residents, they just stamped our passport.
Well, they went through
to
INM first,
fill out,
and then
right.
the Banjercito.
Right.
They were connected all in one building.
Right.
So we went through the INM area, pulled out our green card, gave them our passports, and they just stamped our passport. We didn't get the FMM this time because we're temporary residents and we had our green card.
Right.
So I didn't know, at first I thought we needed that card, or that piece of paper. Mark thought that too, that we needed it, but it turned out that we did not need it.
Right. So we took that, got that taken care of pretty quickly, and then we walked down through a couple of areas within the same building, and then got to the Banjercito, and then we took care of that process. However, the weird thing was that we were having trouble with Paulette's credit card because her name is so long that they put, they abbreviated her name with a P instead of her full name.
Paulette.
So they wouldn't take that credit card. They would only take one with her full name on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And the thing is that I did the tip this time, the temporary import permit, in my name only, because Mark's going to be going to permanent. It probably didn't make any difference, I'm thinking, really. But I thought to be safe, because once he's permanent, he's not supposed to drive a foreign plated vehicle.
Right.
So I just did it in my name. But yeah, that was kind of a hassle because, I mean, how are you going to put Paulette Filippelli Martinez on a card? There's no way that's all going to fit.
Right.
So I ended up having to use one of my cards that I'd rather not use, that I don't use.
Right. So that whole process, I think, took an hour and a half or so, but the Banjercito part was the longest part.
And going through our stuff, that took
Right.
probably at least a half an hour, I would think.
Right. So
something like that.
we
And our tip, I think I ended up paying 9,800 and change pesos for that deposit. And he also reminded me, which I knew, that I had like 30 days now to hook that up with my temporary residency card, my green card.
Right.
So
we left the building, get in our car, and we noticed a long line that's not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And we just sat there for
Yeah.
a long time and couldn't figure out what was going on. So Paulette got out of the car and went to talk to someone.
I talked to a guy that looked like he was American. I thought, okay, I'm going to go ask him what the heck is going on. Do you know?
And he said that they were, police cars were escorting groups of cars because there were reports of carjackings.
I don't know what he said. I didn't hear him say carjackings, but there was some activity going on, I think, with guns and, I don't know, robbing people, pulling them aside. I'm not sure exactly. He didn't say all that detail.
So we waited there, and then eventually there were a number of police cars, and they let us out, and there were a lot of police cars. In addition, there were probably a couple dozen other just like passenger vehicles like us. So we just got out of the INM and Banjercito office in Laredo, outside in Mexico, outside of the Laredo crossing. We got held up for quite a while, and we were wondering why, and we discovered that there's some activity going along somewhere, and they are only escorting people out of that Banjercito office with patrol cars. So right now there's a whole bunch of us in a line, or several patrol cars, and they are going to take us out to Highway 85. It looks like, we're going to cross over on the frontage road up here. So that's what's going on. We kept wondering why we were being held up, but that's it. There was some activity going on, illegal activity, obviously, and so we're being escorted out onto Highway 85. And then they drove us basically straight through to Highway 85. They blocked off intersections so that we didn't have to stop. It was just a straight shot.
Was it 85 or 84?
85.
85. Okay, yeah, into Monterey.
Well, yeah, not all the way.
No, but just I mean,
onto
to the freeway to Monterey is where they escorted us to. There was one police car in the very front, and the caravan, and then there was one in the middle. the Caravan, one at the end.
Right.
Then there was, I think, 2 on the side of the opposite side of the street that we were driving on, the 1 lane. And I noticed that people in front of me had their flashers
Flashing
going,
lights.
their hazard lights going. So I thought,
So we put ours
yeah,
on
so we
too.
put ours on because we thought, well, maybe they told somebody that and nobody relayed that to me. So I also turned mine on. So I think it was kind of an indication to people that were behind you, you know, that we were
Something's
with the
going on.
group, that we were with the group or something.
So, and we didn't have to stop at any intersections. The cops
No.
had those all blocked off.
Yeah,
So
there was- yeah.
Basically, it was just a straight shot through.
There was other cop cars that were in the street.
Along the way.
And then the police were standing outside of them. So the police were flagging us on to go ahead and go straight or to go ahead and turn.
I don't know if that's always the case, if they always provide police escorts at that particular crossing, or if this was just, you know, some sort of a
Fluke
threat.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but apparently the policia must have gotten a call that something was going on down the road, and I heard that it was about 2 miles from where we were, is what the guy had told me, and so he told us we can cut in front of his car to get into the Caravan line, and so we did. And were you nervous at all?
No, I mean, there was a lot of cops around. No point.
Yeah, there was a lot of cops around, for sure. And I was a little kind of like looking like was something going to happen, where there's some people on the side of the road or something like that. And then you just have the regular, you know, locals driving by in their car. They're probably thinking, what the heck is going on with this big Caravan with their lights flashing and the police. So there was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, and then we went through one section, remember? And so like they weren't in police uniforms. I'm not sure who they were, but remember they asked me like people were showing them their passports. So I got out my passport and Mark's and I showed it to him, and he told me like to pull over.
So we did.
So we did.
And then we waited there for a little bit, and eventually he just waited for us to get back into the road. I think it was some sort of immigration service doing like a final check, but we waited there for a little bit, and then finally motioned us for just to get back on the road. So we got back on the road and
Yeah,
headed on our merry way to Monterey.
because I was starting to get nervous thinking, hey, this Caravan's going, everybody
Yeah.
else is going through. What about us? I want to be part of that. I don't want to be
Yeah.
left behind in the dust back there knowing that there's some kind of activity going on.
Yeah.
And so he finally looked over, probably after about a minute and a half or 2
Yeah.
minutes, something like that. And then he was like, said, go ahead and go.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why he did that. But yeah, and then everybody just got on the freeway and went on their merry way, and we drove straight into Monterey and stayed the night. But that was our first experience in 10 months being in Mexico with
Or something
anything
like that, yeah.
hokey pokey like that, you know, which was kind of like a situation, I think.
Right,
Right?
yeah.
So, I mean, we crossed the first time at, where did we cross? We crossed in Arizona
We crossed in Arizona
at Nogales.
Nogales.
Right. And that was pretty easy driving, going through that one. We never got pulled over
That was
to
pretty smooth. He
be
just went right
searched.
on through.
Yeah, that one was really smooth. So if any of you guys have crossed at either one of these crossings or anywhere else, let us know what kind of experience that you guys have had. Like I said, I've never driven through that one area. So I don't know, is that activity that kind of happens right after the border?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Right.
And as far as, you know, the people that were out there, you know, panhandling, asking for money, you know, I really get it. I mean, I do. Mexico's very poor, and right now it's even poorer with this COVID situation, and they're having a really tough time, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't mind putting some change, giving them a 20 peso, something like that. I really don't mind doing that. And in that situation, it worked out to our benefit because Google Maps was telling Mark to turn there, but it looked like turn where exactly the way that it looked. But
yeah.
with that one man's help that we gave 20 pesos to, he was nice enough to direct us. And one other thing is when you do give to a lot of the locals like that stand out there on the roadway, they always say thank you, always.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's our story. Going through. Let us know any comments below. Let us know your situation. Anything else, but we're back to doing our videos now. Sorry that we haven't been.
So that's our story of our border crossing at Nuevo Laredo. Kind of exciting, but you know, everyone needs a little excitement in their life, I suppose.
Yeah.
So thanks.
I suppose.
Thanks for watching The Two Travelers in Mexico. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Leave comments if you have some suggestions for us. And
Yeah, and it didn't look like anybody was having any problems crossing the border
yeah,
at all. But the line wasn't super long. There were cars going through, but there was no line at all to wait.
go ahead and close it out.
Oh, as usual, thank you for watching us, you guys.
What she did.
Bye.